Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Steelers Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, Dave Ribeiro from SteelersSanctuary.com, and this is my co-host, David Cora. Dave, what's going on, bud?
What's up, bro?
Not much. All right, the big news this week is the Alex Highsmith extension, of course. Finally have something to talk about for real. 4 years, $68 million. Man, I think Omar Khan got a steal with this one, bro. I really do. I think this was. You tweeted out he's a wizard. I don't know how we talked Alex Highsmith into taking us, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it.
No, I mean, the kid was top 10 in sacks last season, right? I mean,
25 years old.
Hovered around top 5 last year. 25 years old, he's young. And I mean, he's only going to get better. He's still hasn't even hit his peak yet. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how Khan does this. He's been doing so much that we're just not used to it. So like I told you earlier this offseason, it's been like an overload. Like we're just like, our brains are just like, oh my God, like how does this guy keep doing this? And here we are, it's July, and this guy somehow pulls off keeping Alex Highsmith, not getting him to not want, a truckload of money. I don't know, man. It's craziness. But on the flip side of that, I'm also kind of like, how are we affording all this money going to the defense with all these upcoming contracts that are going to be coming up on the offense in a year or two? That's where I'm kind of concerned.
Yeah, I tweeted that out too about at what point do we start getting concerned about all these contracts on defense and a lot of pushback, all the offensive players on rookie deals, you're worried about nothing, blah, blah. I get that a little bit, but Pat Fryermuth's going into his third year next year, his fourth year. After the season, it'll be his fourth year. Do you want him to be going to his last year of his contract not signed?
Right.
You got to sign that guy. Najee, same thing. I mean, I'm not the biggest Najee Harris fan in the world, but I have a feeling the Steelers are. They're not going to want him to go into his last year of his contract unsigned. I mean, you could put the franchise tag on these guys, but that's going to cost you a boatload of money. Then the year after that, you got to start thinking about Kenny Pickett. The fifth-year option on Kenny Pickett's going to be $30 million, $30+ million for 1 year. That's things you have to keep in the back of your mind.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Kenny's legit, right, and we all hope he is, it looks like he is. I just don't know how they're going to do it. Someone's gonna go, or they're not. They're going to have to let other guys on off. It's either a Cam Hayward goes, or they don't re-sign or extend any of the guys on offense.
Yep.
It's simple as that. Like I'm happy that this deal got made. I'm happy. Like I want people to understand it. It's just that in a year or two, it's gonna roar its ugly head. So you said Pat Fryermuth first, right?
Yep.
So is there a chance? And I'm just saying this because I don't know what they're doing. Right? I'm not there. Is there a chance that if Darnell Washington is legit, they let Fryermuth walk?
I think they trade him before they let him walk, but I get your point. God, I think
if you bring him up first, and that's the only thing I could think of is
if
that
it were me, I'd let Najee walk and do anything I can to get moved.
Well, that's the next question. They probably won't. I mean, I think they love him, but they hit on Jaylen Warren. So did they let Najee Harris walk? Are these two things intertwined that they're willing to let happen in order to keep that defense intact? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand how they're affording to do all this on defense. It just boggles my mind. Like I mean,
Colin Cowherd gave a spiel, and I don't always agree with Colin Cowherd. I think he's kind of a clown. And his basic premise is right. It's not that they're going to be completely hamstrung, because I think these contracts stagger a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that he's a defensive coach who's completely focused on defense.
Yeah.
I made a list. 2024, the Steelers will be on the hook for TJ Watt at $30 million. Cam Hayward at 22. This is cap hits.
Yeah.
Cam Hayward at $22 million. Minka is $21 million.
Yeah.
Highsmith is 17, we think. We don't know how they're going to structure it, but it sounds like 17 million. And Larry Ogunjobi, 13. That's a lot of money for 5 defensive players in 2024. Now, granted, that season they don't have any big contracts. But again, you got to look to what are you going to do with Pat Fryer? What are you going to do with Najee Harris going forward? And yes, Cam Hayward will come off the books if you don't try to re-sign him, which who knows? The Steelers love him too. If they re-sign him to an extension, then I don't know what they're going to do. Then I'm boggled. I don't know what.
Well, that's my point. Like, don't get me wrong. What Khan is doing is incredible. But the salary cap is the salary cap. Sooner or later, you're going to have to pay the piper here on this, and someone's got to go. And I personally think
it's going to probably be Hayward.
I personally think. Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth. I personally think it's going to be Hayward. And then I could see Freiermuth being told bye if Darnell Washington's legit. And then I could see Najee being told bye if Jaylen Warren is legit.
Yeah.
He looks.
Yeah, I never thought of that, but it's definitely a possibility.
I'm just saying because we have guys that can take that spot. You know what I'm saying? Like Jaylen Warren actually had a better yards per carry average than
we've talked about
and look, for all the I'm not trying to kick the Najee hive here and get them all pissed off. I'm just stating facts.
That's my job.
Don't get like you can get mad all you want. Look up the stats. I'm just stating the facts. And that's Jaylen Warren actually had better averages than Najee Harris.
Absolutely.
And he got less carries,
100%.
so I understand that too. But you saw what the kid could do out there. And they got him
this is a big year for him.
And they got him on a, undrafted free agent contract. That's pennies for the Steelers.
Yeah. And that's tough for him, because I don't know if you remember, it was Villanueva. He couldn't become a free agent for like ever, because those undrafted free agents have basically no rights. They keep signing them, and it's pretty crazy. It's going to take him like 4 years, 5 years to get any kind of money. So they've got Jaylen Warren under their thumb for a long time,
and that's
the route they want to go. Yeah,
and that's my point. So and let's also not forget that Najee Harris is a Kevin Colbert draft pick, correct?
Yes.
So Khan don't have any, allegiance to him.
I think
nor
Freiermuth.
Freiermuth. Yeah, and you're right. But see, that's what makes this so interesting. It's like they're going to have to make some tough decisions here, and me and you are just trying to figure out what decision they're going to make. So Najee Hive can get mad, or the Freiermuth crew, or Cam Hayward. I don't really give a shit, because literally this is really what's going to have to happen. So people are going to have to just face the facts. Now, could they do something with Deontay Johnson? Yeah, they could. There's another move they can make. You
Chooks
think about
might be off the books at $10 million per.
Right, there's another one
after the season.
But getting back,
now you're even spending even less on offense.
All right,
you know what I mean?
I'm saying, but see, that's what they might go. That's the route they may go, Dave, because Tomlin believes so much in a strong defense, and that's the problem. The problem is that this is 2023, and that's not how teams are winning Super Bowls now. And they continue to want to zig to everyone's zag. Yeah. And this might end up being really painful. Or, maybe the run game plan works out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it'll be interesting to see how the season goes. Who ends up being the best running back, if the running game thing works or if it backfires. It's going to be a really interesting season.
Yeah.
I want to get back to Highsmith's contract for a second.
Okay.
I tweeted this out, and I got a lot of pushback from it. So I'm Alex Highsmith. I'm 25 years old. I'm coming off a 14.5 sack season. If I play out 2023 and have 10 sacks, just 10, I'm making a hell of a lot more than $17 million per season. What does that say about Alex Highsmith? His competitive nature. Like, these guys are supposed to be ultra competitive guys. And now he just, takes the first, it probably wasn't the first offer, but he just takes whatever Khan gives him and signs happy. He's the 10th in this contract. He's the 10th highest paid edge rusher. And there's already a couple contracts that are going to be redone. By the beginning of the season, he won't be in the top 10 anymore. I wonder about this.
Well, I mean, I really do. And I think there's a combination of things. I think that this is a guy drafted out of Charlotte.
I get it.
I don't think he ever dreamed, beyond his wildest dreams, thought that one day he'd get offered a $68 million contract or whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, 68.
And he deserves every penny. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying that coming from Charlotte, I don't think that he thought that he could ever get something like that. And two, I think he loves being a Pittsburgh Steeler. I think he loves it. I think he loves what comes with being an edge rusher as a Pittsburgh Steeler and the history behind it. And he gets to play opposite of TJ Watt, bro.
I know.
And there's the other thing too. Maybe he thinks, or whoever, agent, whatever, thinks you're getting this money because of TJ Watt in a way. Not that he doesn't do the work. I'm just saying there could be that too. Like what did you do while TJ was gone?
But TJ's going to be there this season.
Correct.
If he's not hurt. So you're going to play one more season with TJ Watt, probably put up big numbers. And then I said on Twitter, by the end of the season, he's going to be significantly underpaid. He's going to be looking at himself and say, shit, I could have made 20 plus million easy.
But right. But how injury prone has TJ been the last couple of years?
Yeah.
That's not guaranteed. My man's got a knee problem.
Risk.
He's got a chest problem. He's got a pec problem. I think he's had shoulder. The guy's had a lot of issues. So I think that's why he pounced on this, because I think there's a lot of chances you take. And to a kid out of Charlotte, $68 million might be perfect.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
I get it. It's not my money. If somebody offered me $68 million, I mean, I'd probably jump on it too. But if I was Alex Highsmith, I know it's a risk. I know it's a gamble.
Yeah.
But worst case scenario, I mean, what's the worst case if he doesn't get hurt this year? What's the floor of sacks? 8, 9? He's still probably getting, at worst, the franchise tag from the Steelers, which is going to be $21 million for an edge rusher.
No, I mean, Alex Highsmith is a good edge rusher. So I mean, no matter what, he's going to get 10 sacks.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
8 to 10 is guaranteed. So, and that's you're on the free agent market coming off back-to-back double-digit sacks seasons, and you're 26 going into next year. That's big money, dude. That's big money.
Did they say how much of it was guaranteed?
They did, and I forgot. I think it's I'd have to look. No, I didn't write it down. I should have wrote it down. It's a pretty good amount of money, but it's not. The Steelers don't guarantee crazy money. It's not,
Well, they're starting
outrageous.
They're starting to heading that way, though. I mean, they're getting there. I was just curious because that could be it. Also, it could have been the guaranteed money of how much why he signed it. You know what I'm saying? It could have been that too.
To me, this is a huge win for Omar Khan. This getting him under contract for this money, even though it's another big defensive contract, this is a steal to me.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know who represents Alex Highsmith, but I think they're going to look back on this and probably say, we left a lot of money on the table. This is a 4-year deal. This is going to take him to age 30. So he's not going to get another big kick at the can like after this.
No, I mean, like I said, I think that everything involved that I've already said, I think that's what it was. I really do.
There's risk, and that's the key. And I get it. If he gets hurt and plays only 2 games, this deal goes away. The Steelers don't offer him 4 at 68 anymore, and he's kind of screwed. So I get that there's a little risk, but a lot of NFL players are willing to take that risk to get paid. And I just wonder yeah, I kind of wonder why. It's not like he's 30 or 29 and a little beat up. It's just freaking what? This is going to be his fourth season.
Yeah.
Guy's entering the prime of his career. All right. Let's switch gears a little bit, but on kind of the same topic. I wrote a post this week about Najee Harris and his upcoming, what's going to be a very, in my opinion, very ugly contract situation with Najee Harris probably after this season, because he's eligible for the fifth-year option after this year. The Steelers are going to have to make a decision, I should say, after the season. And here's how they break down fifth-year options. They do it by amount of time played, which Najee's guaranteed to almost hit at this point. So that's one level. The second level is one Pro Bowl in your first 4 years, which he's already hit. He's made one Pro Bowl. That guarantees him $6 million for fifth-year option. If he makes the Pro Bowl again this year, that makes him the max fifth-year option running back. That's $10 million for his fifth year.
Wow.
That's for 1 year. That's not spread out with a signing bonus.
Right.
That's $10 million against the cap. The Steelers are not going to want to pay him $10 million for once, I don't think, unless he really goes crazy.
Meanwhile, they're paying Jalen Warren $700,000.
Yeah.
That's my whole point in this.
So what do the Steelers do? If he makes the Pro Bowl in 2023, what do they do? He's not taking the hometown discount like I wrote. This guy's been all over social media. Running backs not getting paid. He tweeted that thing about the kickers making more and all that bullshit.
And see, and this is just pure speculation on my part. The guy seemed, and look, I'm not bashing him, so this isn't a bashing, not because I understand it. The guy seems to go back to California quite a lot in his off time. I personally think that he's going to push the envelope with a price. Because
I absolutely believe that.
And the reason why is because I'm not hating. I'm just saying what my gut tells me is this guy wants to go back home. Now, I don't think he could go to San Francisco because of the fact they have McCaffrey. In
2 years though, or next year, McCaffrey's not young.
But you've got plenty of California teams out there where he'd be closer to home. So to me, that's what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to go home or go back to that side of the we'll go back to the West Coast. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against him. It's whatever.
Does he force a trade? How does that happen? I
don't know. I don't think that's it. I just think that when his contract, especially if they don't offer him the fifth year,
that's going to be super interesting what happens next offseason.
Yeah, I think no matter what, not no matter what, I won't say no matter what. I just think that if they don't offer him certain things, he's gone. And he's going to go home. And that's and look, there's a part of me that hopes that doesn't happen because I think he's a good running back. I just don't think he's a great running back, if that makes any sense. Yeah. And I think that Jalen Warren's a good running back, not a great running back. But you got to weigh what you just said: $10,700,000. Which would you take? You know what I'm saying?
The one caveat with that is, it's Mike Tomlin, man. He loves this dude. If he puts up, say he doesn't make the Pro Bowl but puts up 1,000 yards, Mike Tomlin's going to want him back. So you get him back. $6 million for fifth year. But then what do you do with him? Now he's a free agent. You're not going to franchise him because that'll be like 12, 13 million. You're not doing that.
Right.
And even if you franchise him, look at what Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley, they've threatened to sit out games. They don't want to play in the franchise tag.
Right.
I think it's a mess. My prediction is I think he ends up getting traded. I think he ends up getting traded.
So you think
maybe as soon as after the season.
You think they'll trade him?
I think they will.
See, I don't see that. I don't see that with Tomlin. I don't see them trading. If they would trade, the only way that would ever. I mean, so you say in the off season they'll trade him?
Yeah, after the season.
Man, I don't. I don't know about that one. I don't know if I see that.
If Jaylen Warren has a good season, you got to get something for him. You can't just let him walk.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's always that possibility that Tomlin loves him so much he just tries to hang on to him. I saw a stat where he's got the most carries of any player in the NFL since he was drafted. The year he was drafted,
and hardly any fumbles too.
Yeah, no, he doesn't fumble.
I mean, now that's because that's the issue with Jaylen Warren.
Yeah, a little bit, but that's a lot of miles on him already.
Yeah,
that's
true.
It's going to be a little better going forward because of Jaylen Warren, so they can share the carries now. But that first couple seasons, that first season they ran him into the ground. They really did.
Yeah, and I didn't like that either. I didn't like how many carries they were giving him. I thought that was ridiculous as well. It was
not only carries, touches too. They were throwing them the ball, handing them the ball off. It's crazy.
That's fucking Tomlin though.
That's Tomlin.
He did it.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, don't even get me on this right now. Like I will just talk forever about Willie Parker. He literally broke that man. Literally,
he broke Le'Veon Bell too. Le'Veon Bell had so many. He led the league in touches. I think 2 or 3 seasons in a row.
Didn't Mendenhall get injured too towards the end of his time?
Tomlin's not shy about it. He said it.
No,
he wants to run the wheels back.
I will run the wheels off. He said that about Willie Parker, and he literally fucking did it. That's why, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I like Najee Harris. I really do. It just doesn't make sense from a business standpoint. It doesn't make
just
sense.
A position. I mean, that's the big thing going around the league now is you just don't pay running backs. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
I'll say this though. Khan kind of changed the game here a little bit because normally we would see them draft Highsmith's replacement.
Yeah, as we were wrong on that one. We thought that was going to happen, and they had no intention of that.
And because that was what Kevin Colbert does. He did it. That was what he did. And because Highsmith was Bud's replacement. So Khan didn't go that route. He went another route. He went, no. I want both my edge rushers here together at the same time. I'm not starting over again like Colbert did. So, that's the other thing we haven't factored into this. Now, mind you, Tomlin might have been like, no, he's staying, make it happen. That could have happened too. I don't know. But no, I just that's the thing. It's so but this is what's fun about this though. Now that Khan's in there and like you got Andy White on there, you don't really know what they're gonna do. How predictable was Kevin? I mean, so fucking predictable. You just knew what he was going to do. But now we're just like, shit, I don't know. I mean, you watched this offseason and it was just incredible what they did. Like all the moves they made, you're like, this is very unstiller-like. And so now I'm kind of sitting here like, you know what? I don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
I think they're just as predictable as Kevin Colbert. It's just a different plan that we're not used to. It's defense, running game. Look at all their moves. Offensive linemen.
Right.
Defensive players.
You're right. In 5 years,
they're building towards.
You're right.
We're going to see a lot of this.
We could be like, okay, this is what they're going to do. And we nailed it.
They're drafting a lineman in the first round. They're going to grind out a running back.
Right.
Unless it backfires. That's the thing that I'm most worried about. While we're on the Najee Harris, and I don't mean to beat on him. I really don't. But did you see the top 10 NFL total access, top 10 draft picks from 2021?
Yeah.
Najee Harris, 8th. Bro, in the entire draft, Najee Harris, 8th. He's not even the best running back in the draft. Travis Etienne's a better running back than him.
Yeah.
He wasn't even the best Steeler drafted. Pat Fryermuth's a better player than him.
Did they rank Pat higher? Did they rank Pat higher?
No. They ranked Najee Harris above Devontae Smith and Trevor Lawrence. Get all the way the fuck out of here. You don't. What are we talking about?
Wow.
It's insane. This is why I think if Najee Harris can stay on his feet all season, he's making the Pro Bowl. He's a popular guy around the league. He's a really popular guy.
Yeah.
He's going to get voted into the Pro Bowl. I don't.
Yeah.
If he has a halfway decent season, people love him. And I get it. You love the story. A poor kid, rough childhood, beats the odds. Good kid.
You
really
can
good
tell
kid.
You can tell he's a good guy. I mean, he's a really good dude.
And it plays, and people like him. So he's not the best pick. He's not the pick in that draft. That's freaking crazy. I'm kind of just like speechless.
Well, I mean, in that draft, it was either him or Travis Etienne. It was one or the other, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
the Steelers loved him because he was bigger and more physical. Yep. That's the kind of back they want. But
they were
hoping the breakaway guy,
you know? They were hoping he'd be Henry 2.0.
Yeah.
That was what they were hoping.
He's not that far off. He just doesn't have those explosive, because like even Derrick Henry has explosive runs.
Right.
He lops off 60, 70-yard runs too. He's not super fast, but
no. But
he's got the burst.
Right. That's the difference. I mean, Henry's a home run hitter and Najee isn't, or just not yet, at least. I'll say that. I'll just be nice to say yet.
You can say not yet. I mean, he's only going into his third year, so
right.
We haven't seen any evidence of it yet, so it would be surprising, but it's possible. I mean, I don't think the kid's slow. He didn't run the 40 at his combine, so we don't know how fast he actually is, but I don't think he's a slow guy. Just, I don't know. Doesn't have that burst.
He doesn't have that next gear.
Yeah.
It just seems like he don't have that gear, man. Like, I don't know. When he gets in open space, you just don't see that next gear where he's gone.
Yeah.
It's the same gear.
Yeah.
You get in his way, he's either going to leap over you or try to run you over, which we can do.
Yes.
But
that athleticism, you'd think there'd be some burst with that, but it just isn't there. And maybe that's a little bit of the Steelers' offensive line not blocking downfield great. This first year, they definitely were terrible. That was one of the worst lines Pittsburgh's ever put out there. Last year was a little better. He played better too, so we'll see. Year 3 is going to be big for him, obviously.
I just I don't know, man. That's going to be just such a messy situation for them to deal with down the road here.
Yeah, because like I said, there's no hometown discount coming from like Alex Highsmith. He's going for every dollar. He's not going to sign early. He's not going to. It's not happening.
Well, Najee Harris has already been putting it out there for the public that he's pissed off about running backs. And here's the thing. I know he's not Le'Veon Bell, so I'm not going to say he's Le'Veon Bell. However, I'm going to say, are we going to have a situation like we did with Le'Veon Bell where he goes, I'm going to reset the market?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm worried about.
And you know what? The only thing about that is he doesn't have anywhere the ammunition that Le'Veon Bell did. Le'Veon Bell was the best offensive weapon in football, pretty much, when he sat out. Najee Harris is nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. So how much does he have? How much leverage? Leverage is the word I'm looking for. How much leverage does he have to push the Steelers with? I don't know. But he is. He's going to hold out. I'm pretty sure he's going to hold out. He's not going to. He'll probably accept the 5th-year option because he kind of has to if they decide to do it. But then after that, he's not taking a franchise tag. I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised. And look, he's not even as good as Saquon Barkley or Josh Jacobs. He's just not. So we'll have to wait and see. What'd you think about the Le'Veon Bell apology on I guess it was on Twitter?
I thought that was cool. It was about time that he admitted he made a mistake because it was obvious to the whole fucking world, other than him, that he made a mistake.
Yeah,
and we can argue. Like, look, we can sit here and argue guaranteed money and stuff like that, but in the Steelers system, he was featured. He was in a system that featured him despite having Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger as the quarterback. Yeah. He was still a featured running back that they utilized the shit out of.
Yeah, think about his last year. They had Juju and they had Martavis.
Right.
Juju was on that team with him. Yeah.
And you got hung up on money, guarantees, and decided you want to go to the Jets to be coached by Adam Gase. Is that guy? If I remember correctly, what became?
Yep, that's his name.
So,
that was a coach. Yep.
That was because that was the guy that was looking up in the air, looked like he was on meth or something. Like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what he was on. Yeah. But like, it's just incredible that you gave up what you had for that. And he had such a huge ego. It took him how many years? That was what, 2018, 2017? I mean, we're talking
2017, right? 2018, one of those.
Think,
5, 6 years, 7 years.
A long time ago. It took you how long to admit that, like, you made a mistake, dude. And it's a shame because
it's a shame on so many levels because he probably cost the Steelers one more chance at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
He cost himself possibly the Hall of Fame because he was on that trajectory when he was with Pittsburgh. He really was. And it fell off a cliff in New York. So we'll never know how good he could have been, because the Jets were their usual shit show. So, a lot of things went bad when he left.
Yeah, I just it's just a shame. It's definitely the what might have been.
Yeah,
with that group,
you almost feel bad for him at this point because it went so badly for him. Really just
because he got cut from them, right? He ended up not even getting a lot of that money.
Yeah, and he got the guaranteed money, but he only lasted 2 years with the Jets? I think it was 2 seasons, maybe.
They cut him the second year, didn't they?
Not even 2 seasons, right? Yeah,
they cut him.
Crazy.
So
then he ended up with Kansas City for a little while and didn't even really. He just fell off a cliff after that.
Yeah, the whole thing was strange to him, because you'd see them making fun of his weight, but then you see the videos where he looks legit, and you're like, this guy ain't some fat ass. He's got to be in immaculate shape. But what the hell happened to him? He just fell off a cliff. It's the strangest thing in the world. It's the strangest thing in the world to me. It's strange. Yeah, I thought so. I thought the second season
the Jets were a dumpster fire, dude. They overestimated the market. The Jets were the only team that made him an offer. You had to take it. And they were a dumpster fire. The coach was an idiot. The team was bad. And it's well documented. The coach didn't even want him. It was the owner that made the decision. The coach didn't want him.
And that was the other thing. So, when the coach downright in front of the media was just like, well, I didn't pick him. It was like,
yeah.
What are you saying this for? What is wrong with you? Why would you say that?
Bad coach, bad organization, bad team.
Adam Gase is a joke. I can't even believe that guy got a second chance. Can't believe it.
Yep.
To be honest.
Yep. It's crazy. All right. Some Mike Tomlin contract extension news going on. This is almost lead pipe guarantee, right? They're gonna it's take that one to the bank. He's gonna resign. Unless it's retires.
It's already done. We just haven't been told yet.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, the only other thing I could see is he decides to retire and do TV.
Yep.
Steelers are not going to let him. They love him. He's and why not? I mean, guy's top 5 coach in the league. I mean, I have my problems with Mike Tomlin sometimes, but there's a hell of a lot worse out there. There's a hell of a lot worse.
Right.
So,
I mean,
get him signed.
No, I'm not. Just so I'm crystal clear with everyone. I don't want him to go. I want him to be the coach. Just how many guys can have as many start offs as he has where they're losing and rear back and win as many games as they do to stay alive or in contention. Not many coaches can motivate a team to do that.
Dave, he's got to pick a progressive, modern offensive coordinator for next season.
I agree.
Not 23, 24 when Canada is gone. Mike Tomlin with a really good offensive coordinator, unstoppable. Unstoppable. There's enough pieces on this team. Get a coordinator who's good, who knows, today's football. This team, this sky's the limit. But if he goes with another guy like this, so he can control the narrative and he can do his run the ball 30 times a game and try to squeak out wins, we're going to be 9-8, 8-9 every season, and it's never going to change.
I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, are they really going to spend the money to get a legit offensive coordinator?
You could get a young one that's before he's ready to get paid.
I get it, but they haven't done it, dude. They haven't done it.
Yeah, they've given us no evidence that they're going to do something like that. You're right.
I mean, Todd Haley got fired by Arizona, right? They brought him in. I don't know what they paid him, but I think he's the last legit offensive coordinator they had.
And there's some rumors that Tomlin didn't really want him, but Haley's dad was a guy with the Steelers, and they liked him. And
Haley had the connection. Yep, he had the connection.
And to me, Todd Haley's the best offensive coordinator they've had in Tomlin's era, maybe except for maybe he was in better than
Well, so that's debatable because Bruce Arians has got the rings.
Bruce Arians, yeah.
Okay, so now Bruce about got been killed.
We know Bruce almost got killed.
But they won rings, though, bro. I mean, that's really hard to
one ring
to debate when. Oh yeah, you're right. It was Wisenhunt in the
with Cowher. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a toss up between Haley and BA. I liked Haley better, but you can make the case for him. You're right. He did win the Super Bowl. You could make the argument Haley had more to work with too.
Honestly, I'm not trying to pick one or the other. I think they both were good. I'm just saying the last legit one they had was Haley.
It's been downhill after that.
Yeah,
it's been downhill after that. He needs to pick a good offense. And that's going to be key for Mike Tomlin's, resume for the rest of his career. Is he gonna get it back to the promised land, or is he just gonna keep,
Well, I think you hit it on the mark when you say
that
if they got a legit offensive coordinator, they'd be incredible. I think you're absolutely right.
I mean, the pieces are there. It looks like Kenny Pickett's going to be good. It looks like Jordan Pickens is good. It looks like Pat Fryermuth's going to be good. You got Warren and Harris. Put a good offensive coordinator behind that. The line's good.
Well, they brought in that one guy. They brought in that one guy. I forget his name. They brought him in this offseason as I don't know, what was it, the offensive assistant or something like that?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, and people were joking. Is he going to be? Is Haley just? Is Canada just going to be a figurehead?
So it kind of makes you wonder if that's anything there, if there's any smoke to that. But I agree with you though. I wish they would just stop screwing around and go get a legit offensive coordinator and roll. But like I said, they don't like to spend the money, man. They don't like to spend the money on coordinators, coaches.
Definitely don't.
In general.
Coaches, period. Yeah, you're right. They don't spend. I think they got the smallest coaching staff in the league.
They do.
And
lowest amount of coaches.
The Rooneys are probably bottom 5 as far as richest owners in the league. Probably bottom 5.
Yeah.
They're not these independently wealthy billionaires. They've owned the Steelers forever. That's their business. They're not like these super rich guys. So, you're always going to keep that in the back of your mind when they don't sign big free agents, when they don't have big, coaching staff. There's limitations. It's a small market. Not that matters that much in the NFL, but still. And they're not super rich guys. They're not Jerry Jones or the guy from, the Rams who's like multi-billionaire. Even the Jags owner is like the richest guy in the NFL, I believe. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But they don't have that kind of cash. They just don't. So you always got to keep that in the back of your mind. I had wrote Denzel Mims on my notes for this pod. I was really, really excited for about 6 hours there. I know he's just another failed draft pick, but I would have loved to see the Steelers grab him. Unfortunately, the Lions grabbed him.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't mind them swooping in and snagging him to see if they could, find something, fix something, whatever. But
I guess there was a connection with Frisman Jackson had coached him at some point in college or something, and everyone was connecting the dots. I don't know. Did you ever hear what the Lions gave up for him? Was it a 6th-round pick? Something like that?
I'm not sure.
I would have given it up. What do you get to lose?
A 6 is nothing, dude. A 6th-round pick? That's...
I got to double check that, but I don't think you could give up much more for him. He was a 2nd-round pick who's never done anything in the league. So I don't know. That would have been something, but just didn't happen. That's all I have for today. You got anything else before we sign off for this podcast?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Just
training camp next week.
Yeah, I mean, you got training camp next week. Like I said, this offseason is just, to me, it's been absolutely bonkers. Like I never could have predicted that the offseason would be this crazy where it's just constantly signing guys, cutting guys, signing guys, and extending guys. And you're just like, holy shit, where are you getting this money from? Where is this? Like, how are you doing this? But
that's the other thing we should probably hit on. I think they're going to have to redo Watt's contract at this point now. I think they're getting close to that point where they won't have that cushion that they usually have going into every year of about $5-6 million going into the season if they want to, make moves in the season. So they're gonna have to free up a little bit of cash here. I think you'll see TJ Watt get redone.
Someone's getting restructured. It should be TJ. If I had to predict one, it'd be TJ.
Yeah, I don't want them to do Cam because then you're putting all kinds of dead money into. He's 33. You don't want to redo his deal. Let his deal play out. If you want to re-sign him after that, do that. Don't restructure and have dead money. If he gets hurt, you're screwed. Yeah, do TJ. I mean, TJ's only 29, right? So
yeah,
he's already making buku money.
Right.
What's the difference at this point?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this has been Omar Khan has, redone the whole. Well, not the whole roster, but a good chunk of the roster.
Yes.
We were sure guys like Derek Watt would be back. We were sure that, the running back there that's escaping me, Benny Snell would be back. And those guys haven't sniffed it. They're still not on a roster. I mean,
and I'm actually impressed by it, to be honest with you. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see some of those guys come back because it's a waste of money. So I'm fine with it. It's encouraging, really, to be honest. So, but no, that's really all I got, man.
All right, man. You can find me on Twitter at SteelSank16. Check out the podcast on YouTube at Steelers Sanctuary Podcast. Subscribe to the podcast, please. Our numbers are doing great. We'd like to keep that going. Just hit that subscribe button for us. Dave, give me your stuff and let's get out of here.
All right, you can find me on Twitter, M_Corb. I'm also on TikTok, Steelers Sanctuary Podcast or Steel Sank Pod. I have the Pirates podcast, the Hodgepodge of Nothingness podcast. As soon as I get back from North Carolina, I'll start that back up. And that's it.
All right. Until next time, thanks for listening to Steelers Sanctuary Podcast.